everybody, welcome to Epic Beauty Fail. I'm Jessica. On today's video, we're going to be talking about my 2019 Project Pan and my 2020 intentions for Project Pan. So we are going to be wrapping up everything that I did in 2019. I did actually do better than I thought I would, to be honest with you. So first of all, I'm going to talk through the items that I did finish off because I'm not going to have them here with me. So let's talk about it. I did have a mini It Cosmetics powder, which I finished right away, and I knew I was going to, so that was a really quick win for me. I did also use my Smashbox eye primer, and this one I ended up having to take out of my project mid-year because the packaging started to crack, and I didn't feel comfortable with continuing to use a product that the packaging was compromised on, especially something that I was going to be putting on my eyes. So my Smashbox eye primer went by the wayside. I actually finished off 3 sprays last year. I think actually more than 3, but 3 that I had in my Project Pan. So I had a Pixie Hydrating Milky Mist, which I love, and I'm actually almost done with another bottle of that I finished off. I finished off a Milani Make It Last, and then I also had a mini MAC setting spray, a MAC Fix Plus. I do still have that bottle actually behind me. I have it in the lavender scent, which is my favorite of their scented ones, and I have a full size one that I've been pouring into the mini one and reusing the mini setting spray. So I do have that one as well. So I finished off 3 setting sprays, my Smashbox eye primer, and my It powder. And then I started off Project Pan with my Maybelline Lemonade Craze eyeshadow palette. So this product I actually do still have. I hit pan on it though, and I actually really like this palette a lot. I hit pan on the Sweet Tea shade, which is my more transition shade that I would use. You can see it there. So I decided to swap it out and try another eyeshadow palette because I had never actually hit pan on an eyeshadow palette before. So this was like a really major win for me. And I hit pan on Sweet Tea. I'm close on Sunnies. I don't know that you guys were able to see that, but on Sunnies, I'm actually probably really close there. And then I'm actually close on Old Fashioned here as well, because I do dip into the same spot there. So I hit pan on Sweet Tea first because it's my transition. I feel like I could have hit pan on Old Fashioned and Sunnies, but I decided to swap it out. But I was really pleased with myself when I've actually hit pan on this palette. I had never done that before, and that was a major win for me. So yeah, that was everything that I actually was able to accomplish. All right, so moving on to the products that I still have in my Project Pan for 2019. I'm going to start with my biggest win. I finished my concealer. This is the Catrice Cosmetics Liquid Camo Concealer. I loved the death out of this concealer. It is gone. Now, if I pulled the stopper out and like scraped the inside of the walls of this thing, I probably could get more out. I am not going to do that. I'm looking into the bottom of this. The bottom might have a little bit on, but when I pull the applicator out, only the smallest amount is actually still on here, and I don't even know that the camera will focus enough for you all to see how little concealer is on that, and I just got it all over my hand. But literally just the tip of the concealer applicator has any concealer on it. I have loved this. I had it in the shade 10 Porcelain. I would absolutely buy this concealer again. I am not going to because I have way too many in my collection right now. I'm planning on doing a declutter series. So if you're interested in declutters, hit that subscribe button and come back in a few weeks because I'm going to start posting declutters. It's going to hurt me very much. I have tendencies leaning towards hoarding, and it's going to be very difficult for me. I have not filmed any of those videos yet, but they are coming. And what I might need to do is do a initial declutter in like the early part of the year and then do another declutter later in the year just because it's going to be a challenge for me. But I'm not going to be repurchasing this right now. I did really enjoy it. I would highly recommend it to anyone. It is drugstore priced, and if you can find a shade that works for you, I would absolutely 100% recommend this. It is also supposed to be waterproof, so I never gave that a try to see, but it has a little sticker on it that says waterproof. Anyway, I loved the death out of this concealer, and I am so, so proud of myself for actually finishing a full concealer. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right, so the next item that I'm going to talk about is this foundation right here. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin. They've actually replaced this, and I have not used it since my last update, which I think was in October. I was doing really good with this product through the first part of the year, and I have several lines down the bottle. You're seeing pictures somewhere on the screen. I have several lines on this bottle where I was like knocking it out, knocking it out, knocking it out, and then for some reason, I just have not used this since October. Now, some of that might be that I haven't been wearing makeup as often since October just because of the holidays and everything else. I got lazy with putting makeup on. And traditionally, I'm not a huge makeup wearer, which when you see my collection during the declutter, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, what is this woman doing? But in the past, I have not been a huge makeup wearer. So the fact that I didn't finish this isn't a big surprise for me. I had hope that I would, but I just didn't pick it up as often as I would like. Plus, I found another foundation that isn't in my project pan during my foundation reviews that I have been loving towards the end of the year here. I'm not bringing it into my project pan, but it is here on my table because I enjoy it so much. It is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and I did a foundation review on this, and I'm actually like almost halfway through this bottle. Now, this is just a mini, but I have been loving this foundation, so I've been picking this up to film with and so forth rather than this product. So it is what it is, and you know, I think I'm going to actually move this into my declutter area because this has been with me for a long time. And I also had the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation in my project pan at the beginning of 2019, and I ended up moving that out of my project pan project midway through the year because it started separating in a weird way. Actually, let me grab the bottles. I still have them. I'm going to show them to you. So these foundations have been sitting on my table over there, or my dresser over there, for a long time. And I don't know if that's just because it's a water foundation, but like that's where the color stops. And then there's a whole layer of water on the top. And I don't know if they just separated because I haven't been using them or if they've gone bad. I honestly don't know. So I actually pulled these out of my project pan midway through the year. They just were separating weird. So I didn't feel comfortable continuing to use those, and it's just what it is. So I ended up pulling in this foundation, which I was absolutely loving for a good portion of the year. I found this during one of my foundation reviews as well. This is the Cogendo Aqua Foundation, and I can't remember what month I pulled it in, but I have made a huge dent on here, and you're actually probably seeing better pictures than me holding it up to the camera, but I have made a huge dent on here, and I actually put the line in before I used it today, so I probably could have moved the line down like another quarter of an inch for what I used on my face today. I usually use 3 pumps of this every time I use it. I just love the way this foundation looks on my skin. I absolutely love the way this foundation looks on my skin. It is an expensive foundation. I think it's like $80 or something like that. It's crazy expensive. I want to use this up. I'm going to continue to use it up. I'm not going to put it in my project pan for 2020, but I am going to continue to use it because I just love the way it looks. It is a little bit dark for me. Just a hair, and I think this is the lightest shade. It's in 012. I don't know what shade that ends up being, but it's 012. And if they had a lighter shade, I might consider repurchasing this, but only during like Sephora VIB sale. I wouldn't buy this full price. Like I said, I'm loving the Giorgio Armani, which is a little bit different of a shade, and it's more neutral. The Cogendo is more of a cool tone, pinky undertone, whereas the Giorgio Armani is more of a neutral undertone, which is why I think I'm liking it more than the Cogendo. But the finish on this is absolutely beautiful. So once I finish this, which I know I will during 2020, because I'm going to keep it on top of my dresser, even though I'm not going to be keeping it in my project pan, I will continue to use it. And once I finish it, I'm going to really consider repurchasing it maybe in the fall sale. I am a rouge with Sephora, and at least through just the end of 2020 I'm a rouge right now, so when they send out the fall 20% off sale, if I have used this entirely up, I may consider purchasing this again because I love it that much, even though I have a million foundations. I know I just said that I wasn't going to repurchase the Catrice Liquid Camo, but I like that foundation that much. I will travel with it. In fact, I'm going on a business trip for an entire month in the April-May time period. And I'm probably going to bring the Giorgio Armani and the Cogendo as my two foundations, unless I finish some before then. But there's a couple of other ones that I've tried here recently that I've really been enjoying, but those two are the ones that I keep going back to. All right, my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. I only added this, in October maybe? It was I don't remember adding this early in the year. This was definitely towards the end of the year. I'm going to continue using this. I'm not going to keep it in my project pan, but I am going to continue using this. I like it. I did recently buy the other popular shade. What is it? Soft Ochre, which I haven't been using that one at all. I used it, I think, once or twice. I think I like the Soft Ochre better because it's more of a yellow toned or more of a neutral type tone than Painterly is. But I'm going to continue to use this because I want to try to use it up. Again, not going to keep it in my project pan, but I am going to continue to use it. All right, my primer. This is the Origins Original Skin Pore Perfecting Cooling Primer with Willow Herb. I am not doing too bad with this. I don't know the exact numbers. You'll be seeing them on the screen somewhere because I can't really take a picture to show you how my progress is going. But I am a little bit frustrated by the the method in which it comes out of the bottle. I actually went to use this one day and nothing would come out. Like I shook it, pushed the button, nothing but air came out. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's dead. It's not going to work. Right. And then I picked it up a couple days later and it worked just fine. And I'm wearing it today. It worked just fine. So I don't know what's going on with the dispense methodology or dispense method. There it is. That's the word I was looking for, dispenser. But it is a nice primer. I like it. I will continue to use it as long as the button on top or the pump on top works. But again, not carrying it over into my project pan. So my eyeshadow palette. I did bring the Soft Glam eyeshadow palette in. You should be seeing pictures on the screen of how well I'm doing. Honestly, I feel really accomplished with this. So the shades that I'm doing really good on is Tempera, which is the cream shade, and then Rose Pink. Rose Pink is a really nice pink shimmer shade. I don't have it on today, but anytime I'm doing like a pink look, which I do often like on my eyes, I like having reds and pinks with my blue eyes, I dip into that Rose Pink shade. And it's definitely, and I'm hoping the pictures that I took are showing how well I did with it. Literally the size of the indentation is my finger. So I would just literally dip my pointer finger in and then pat it all over my lid. So it's that shape because it literally is the shape of my finger. But I've also done a pretty good dent in Fairy and Glistening because those are the two. Like today I have Glistening all over my lid and Fairy in my inner corner. So if I'm doing more of a brownish toned, gold toned, neutral look, I will typically use Fairy and Glistening. I'm not carrying this over to 2020, but I did, enjoy using it, and I like this palette a lot. And the reason why I pulled it into my project pan is to make sure that I did use it because I like it so much. So it's going to go back into my collection. I'm not going to get rid of it or anything, but I'm not carrying it over into my project pan for 2020. So the next item I counted as one, even though it's two, it is my powders. I feel like I've done a good bit of movement on this one right here. This is the Mineral Face Powder from Physicians Formula. I really enjoy, so I use both of these powders when I'm doing foundation reviews, and the Mineral Correcting Powder, I am so close to hitting pan. Like, I'm pretty sure the picture that you're seeing on the screen shows that I'm down into the swirls of it, and I am so close to hitting pan on this. And my goal was to finish off the face powder and hit pan on the correcting powder. I will tell you that I love both of these powders. I usually, when I'm doing a foundation review and the foundation matches fairly well to my skin tone, I dip into both. And they kind of neutralize each other out and end up making my skin look really nice. If my foundation that I'm trying is too pale, I will dip into this. This is supposed to be translucent, but it does have a color to it, and it will deepen any foundations that I'm wearing that are too pale for me. So I do use this as a powder that will help to bring down the tone of a foundation. The opposite is true for the correcting powder. This powder is, again, it's supposed to be a mineral correcting powder, but I don't know how well the camera is going to focus on my fingers to show you how pale that really is. I mean, it has like a white cast to it. Again, not sure that my camera is focusing right now. I got to play with some of my lighting this year. My lighting is a struggle. Anyway, it is literally like white. And if I'm trying to lighten a deeper foundation, I will use that just alone. So I use these a lot. Well, any foundation review I'm using these for, which is why I pulled them into my project pan. These two products I am carrying over into 2020. So I'm going to stop here for just a moment. I have two more products to talk about from 2019, but I'm going to give you my quick overview of what I'm doing in 2020. So I decided I'm not going to try to do 10 or 20 products in 2020. I'm going to start with 5. That is it. 5 products. Now I'm going to continue to count these two as one, as like a powder. But I'm doing 5 products this year. I'm only going to be updating you quarterly because I was trying to do monthly the first half of 2019, and it just wasn't working for me to continue on. So I did monthly from January through July, and then I waited until October, and then now January. I probably should have done it at the end of December, but quarterly seems to work better for me. So I'm going to be doing 5 products. I'm going to be updating you guys quarterly, and then as I finish a product, I will continue to roll them in. So I'm definitely going to be doing rolling in during 2020 as well. So that's my quick rules for 2020. Let's go ahead to the last 2 products because these 2 are going to be carried over into 2020 as well. They are my bronzer and my blush. First off, I'm going to start with my Tarte blush. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Party. Originally, I just wanted to hit pan. I did. Now my goal is to finish this off. I think it is possible. I love this blush. I love the shade of this blush. If I'm just putting on makeup just because I reach for this blush, I use it when I'm doing foundation reviews. I love the color of this blush on me. It works really well. I just love it. Do I think I would want a full size of this? No. If I could buy this in another mini, would I? Yes. Because I love the shade of it. I just love it. I love it. So this is staying in 2020. I'm going to try to finish it up entirely, and then I will be sad because I love it. But that's just the way it is. The last product from 2019 is the Balm Take Home the Bronze. I actually got this in one of my beauty boxes right at the end of 2018, and I said, I'm going to put this in my 2019 project pan because I want to see how long it's going to take me to use up a bronzer. One of the issues that I've run into with this is that it's such a small pan that my brush, no matter what brush I'm using to do bronzer or like a contour with, it takes up the entire pan. So there was no way that I was going to hit a pan on this without pretty much using up the entire product. I know that, but I feel that I have made tremendous progress. I'm just looking at like the rim of the pan to see where I'm at. I feel like I've made tremendous progress on this product, and it's the perfect shade for me. It works really, really well. I have a little bit on my forehead and then on my cheeks. Sometimes I'll put some on my jawline if I have a foundation that's a little bit too light, or a little bit on my nose if I have a foundation that's a little bit too light and the powder just didn't do enough for me. I love this product. I do. Will I repurchase it after I use this mini? No, only because I have so many bronzers in my collection. So many. Again, just like the concealer, I don't love it enough to go out and purchase another one. Bronzer and contour is not something that I have ever really would say that I have like a holy grail of. I like a lot of products. I have a couple like that I'm going to start focusing on, not in Project Pan, I don't believe, but a couple products that I'm going to start focusing on once I finish this off. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to pull into my Project Pan during 2020. I have no preconceived ideas. I know I'm going to keep the bronzer, the blush, the powders. That's 3. So I'm going to be pulling 2 more products in. Those are, first off, I'm going to be pulling in the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. So when I first bought this product, I didn't like it. I felt like it was too dark for me, and I felt like it was not going to work. Now, this is the shade Fair. the more I've used it, the more I like it. So I don't use concealer to brighten. Sometimes I will, especially if I have a foundation that's too dark for me. But I have a tendency to try to use concealer that is more my shade, like my natural skin tone. So like here you can see underneath my under eyes, it might look like, I'm looking in my mirror down here. It might look like that I'm brightened a little bit, but that's only because this is more of a lighter neutral tone than the Kojendo. The Kojendo is definitely more of a pink tone to it. So it is definitely going to be, like I said, it's not 100% my shade. It's definitely darkening my skin a little bit. And this, although I have it on my under eyes, I have it a little bit on my nose, which is why my nose might look a little bit brighter, and a little bit on my chin. This is more like my natural skin tone. So like I said, I didn't like it at first, but the more I used it, the more I like it. I'm halfway done with it. My goal is to finish this off. I have a lot of other concealers, so if I finish this off, I'm not going to go out and buy it right away, but I would definitely repurchase it. Like I said, I didn't like it at first, but the more I've used it, the more I've liked it. So I would definitely repurchase it. And it has like a little fuzzy on it, which is annoying me. So I'm going to get that off, but I would absolutely recommend this. I'm sure you've seen other YouTubers who say that they would absolutely recommend it and they love it and so on and so forth, but I really enjoyed it. So I've decided to pull it into my Project Pan. And I don't know what that says, that my Project Pan concealer from last year was a drugstore and my Project Pan concealer for this year is a drugstore. Don't know what that says. The final item for my 2020 Project Pan is going to be this item right here. I love this stuff. This is the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. If you've watched any of my foundation reviews, you know that I love this stuff. I use it in every single foundation review. I have hit pan on this already. You're going to be seeing a closer up picture. Again, my lighting is terrible. I got to get that fixed. But my goal is to use this up in 2020. And I think there's like 1 or 2 foundation reviews that I've done that I haven't used this because I actually have, I've hit pan and I'm like, I can't use it up. I need to be careful. What am I doing? Why am I using it? That's not the right thinking. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to use it, and that's all there is to it, and I'm going to use this up. I am absolutely going to use this up because I use it in every foundation review, except for like those 1 or 2 that you're going to be seeing soon or might have already seen because my brain was telling me weird things, you know, and my brain's telling me you can't use it up. But I'm going to use this up, gosh darn it, and that's just the way it is. I would absolutely reuse this. I have the e.l.f. Poreless Primer. I have not used it yet. So the Poreless Putty Primer, I have not used it yet. I want to do a video here soon where I'm putting this versus the e.l.f. And then I have a couple of other putty primers. I have one from Tarte, one from Maybelline, and a third one that I'm forgetting who made it, that are like a putty primer, but it's more of like a pot putty primer. If you know which one I'm talking about from Tarte, it's the one that Tati loves. Those 3 that I have in my drawer are pretty similar. So I want to do a video of those 3, comparing those 3 as well. So if you're interested in those, hit the subscribe button. Anyway, that's going to be my 2020 Project Pan for this year. 5 items. As I use items up, I will bring in new items. I just don't know what it's going to be yet. So the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer, take home the bronze. I am going to finish this year. Gosh darn it. My Tarte blush, I'm going to finish this year. Gosh darn it. You guys are probably sick of hearing about it, but I am determined to finish those. My 2 Physicians Formula powders, my mineral face powder, my mineral correcting powder. This one I'm going to finish. This one I'm going to hit pan on this year. Those I will probably buy again just because I'm so used to using them in my foundation reviews that it would be hard for me to use something else. And then my Maybelline Age Rewind concealer. So that's it for this video. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys thought I did in 2020 or 2019, how I did in 2019 with all the products that I had. And let me know how you guys did in 2019. I would love to hear how you all were successful in doing your Project Pan if you were doing one. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button to keep coming back quarterly to see how I'm doing on my 2020 Project Pan project and to see all my other content as well. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And any comments you have in the comment section down below, let me know about your Project Pans, what your plans are for 2020. I would love to hear all about it. So I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on a future Epic Beauty Fail video. Bye, y'all.